Are you using the right paddle, the right sneakers, or even the right ball? Are you using the right equipment to play pickleball? And all of that's going to be very, very important when you start to play outside. More important outside than it is inside. Okay. So that could actually be holding back your game.
Today, we're breaking down everything that you need to know about equipment.
And we're acting about a brand new segment that we all love. There's a brand new segment that we'll be introducing. Okay. Sue, what's the name of that new segment?
It's called the Rant, Frank, and I have a good one for you today.
And I have a good one for you today, too, because I actually met with the people on the court today, and I told them that they're going to be featured on our new segment called The Rant. So looking forward to it. Again, okay. Welcome to Long Island. We're going to start right now, Sue. Welcome to Long Island Pickleball Pros podcast. I'm Frank Melillo.
And I'm Sue Cormier. We are both certified pickleball instructors. And we are here to help you improve your game and have fun out there on the court.
And it's always important to have fun. This is not anything any more serious than having fun. Okay?
Absolutely.
So I'm Frank Melillo from Long Island Pickleball Pros. I have my court in Rockville Center at Rockville Center Recreation, also at Sportset. We're always looking for new players to play on our courts. So you can always reach out to me at www.longislandpickleballpros. I have courts for leagues and also for paddles and for clinics to learn how to play. So where are you located?
You can always reach me at Paddles Up in Hauppauge. On their website, we do clinics for beginners, all levels, private lessons, open play, leagues, everything that you need. 8 beautiful brand new courts.
Excellent. Excellent. And everybody's going to be playing outside, but there are going to be times when you want to play inside. But we'll get back to that later. So here we're going to talk about. We're going to be talking about equipment. And equipment mostly what's important playing outdoors, because there's a lot to do with the kind of equipment you have and the performance of you yourself on the court based on the equipment. Okay. Beginner versus advanced paddle. We all know the difference. Weight versus light and heavy. I always think they're all light, but we'll talk about control versus power, grip size importance, and common mistakes buying too powerful too soon or not buying the right paddle or the best paddle that you can afford, because it's always important that you do that. Most players don't need the most expensive paddle. They just need the right paddle for their level. How do you feel about paddles, Sue? Because you see it all the time like I do.
I always say I know a little too much about pickleball paddles in my life. I can talk a lot about it. I'm extremely passionate about fitting the right player to the right paddle. So I represent a certain brand, Holbrook, because I just think they have great price points, a great paddle for every player, long handle, short handle, great price point, great technology, and different paddles, different strokes for different folks, different paddles for different players.
How important are the price points, though? I think they're extremely important, the way I do my paddles. How important are the price points?
Well, like anything, most things, you get what you pay for. A cheaper paddle is not going to have the technology, the performance, the control, the power, or a combo of what you want. They've just advanced so much. I remember those first paddles that we started out with. It's hysterical compared to what they have out now. The technology is incredible. And if you have the budget for it, you have one piece of equipment. Make it something that's going to help your game and help you play better and be comfortable in your hand.
And have a lot more fun, because you can play better with better equipment. There's no question about it. I never used to think that. I remember when I used to play tennis, I used to get like with some of these beginner tennis rackets, and I thought I could hit this. I can't blame my racket all the time. And by the way, there's a big difference between beginner paddles or beginner rackets, and they are a better quality of paddle. Because if you're going to look to buy another paddle, I would definitely look to a dealer or come out and reach out to one of us, because we know the difference. If you're buying your paddles off of Amazon for $10, $15, $20, $30, $50, believe me, they don't compare to the paddles that Sue and I have, or that's out there with regards to. I'm a Diadem ambassador. I love my new Diadem. There's a big difference between my Diadems that are $110 and the Diadem that's $170 or $190 compared to the $10, $20, $40, $60 paddles. I'm not the type that says, it's always blaming my paddles, but I will say there's a big difference between the better paddles and the ones that you buy on Amazon. I can physically see and hear the difference of a ball hitting a cheap paddle, thinking to myself, that ball would have gone a lot further and done a lot better job going over the net compared to what the paddle they have. And I generally go over them and I say, listen, you really got to upgrade your paddles. Right, Sue?
I totally agree. And I don't know about you, Frank, but I don't sell the Holbrook paddles for the money. I do it for the love of the game. I make a couple of dollars on each paddle, but I want my players to get the right paddle for them and a price point that they can afford. I like to explain why the $99 paddle is that price point all the way up to the $200 paddles and why they are that much more money.
They're totally worth it. I think buying a paddle, if you want to upgrade, but you don't want to invest in $190 or $170 paddle, $110, $140 is well worth the money. You'll wind up upgrading in a year or two, but it's well worth the money just staying with those Amazon paddles. There's a big difference. The technology is different too. The new technology is the foam core with the upgraded paddles that people are using. And that makes a big difference with control and power. People are using the boomstick, which is extremely popular. A lot of power. I think it has less control. My diadem with the foam has great control and power. How do you feel about your Holbrook? Yep.
I played with the Holbrook Arrow. I always played with the Holbrook Power Pro. It's a 16 millimeter paddle, which I love as a hybrid. Great control and great power. The Arrow came out, and I said, I'm not playing with a 14 millimeter paddle. Not enough control for me. But with the foam filling technology, to me, it plays the control of a 16 millimeter with the power of a 14 millimeter because of that extra technology.
That's great. Look, it makes all the difference in the world, right?
I keep both paddles in my bag because I believe if I'm having a bad game up in my head, I'm going to switch out paddles, and it's gonna bring me up to win the game at
the 5-0 level. The 5-0. Well, look,
I'll play the 3-0 level with one paddle and a 5-0 level and switch it around the next day. But I do like keeping two paddles. It's a head thing.
Yeah, I can't switch paddles because it's just I can't do that. It's just too much. And then I wind up blaming the paddles. Now, when it comes to equipment, people ask me, what about this paddle? What about that paddle? I generally ask them what their price point is. Because you can't go wrong with a $110 paddle. If you can afford $110, it's a great paddle, right? You want to go a little bit better, it makes a bigger difference. You get the foam core, then go $190. It's worth the money. But I always ask what their price point is. But the most important thing about this, Sue, is a good Indian never blames his arrows, and a good plumber never blames his equipment. That's really what it comes down to. So let's talk about balls. Next thing we want to talk about is balls. There's a big difference between indoor and outdoor balls. And the outdoor balls are faster, they're harder, smaller holes. But when it comes to playing with the actual ball, I always play with the indoor ball. I always play with the outdoor balls indoor. It's a truer bounce. It's a harder plastic. It's a faster game. And let's face it, the indoor balls are designed for hardwood floors, bigger holes, real slow. I basically, on my courts indoor at Rockville Center Recreation, I say, who brought the indoor ball? And I pick it up and I fake like I'm going to break it and squash with my foot. And I say, look, these are old man balls. Use one of my balls. What do you think, Sue? How do you feel about those balls?
Yeah, those outdoor balls, I call them dog toys. This is what your dog should be chewing on in the corner by the fireplace. I like the faster, harder plastic of an indoor ball, whether I'm playing indoor and outdoor also. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes a big difference.
It's a fun ball.
Yeah, it's a much better ball. It's more fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's talk about, how the weather affects the balls with the bigger holes and the smaller holes. But more importantly, how the weather affects the outdoor balls. Now, when you're playing in colder weather, what usually happens, Sue?
The ball cracks much easier.
Yep.
Much easier when it's cold. Yeah.
Yep, absolutely.
That's definitely why you want to have that harder plastic, smaller holes.
But, I used to play tennis and we'd pay $3 for a can of balls or $4 for a can of balls. You play with them once, you throw them away because they don't bounce anymore. It's just the way it is. Now you can use a $3 pickleball ball for 6 months. If it cracks, hey, you got your money's worth, right? You can't complain. But the weather does have a big difference. And there was a while, about 2 years ago, a lot of Franklin balls were cracking all the time, but I think they got better at it. Pickleball Expo, they play with the Yola balls. They were indestructible, the Yola balls. Indestructible. And Sue, we're just about ready to wrap it up because we're running out of time. We want to be conscious of the time that you guys have and listening to this podcast. So we're now going to talk about shoes and sneakers, and we're going to wrap it up with the rant of the day. Look, it's really important. Paddles are important. Balls are important. What's almost as important are the sneakers and the kind of sneakers that you wear. It's important that you wear court shoes. Don't wear running shoes. Don't wear walking sneakers. Don't wear any of those. Get yourself a very good pair of court shoes. And they don't have to be Pickleball Sneakers. They can be just court shoes. Prince, Diadona, Wilson. Any court shoe would be the best because they're designed to play on the court. What do you play with, Sue? What sneaker?
I have had almost every brand of sneaker. I've had the Diadem. I've had, right now I've got the Nike Light, which I absolutely love. Santa brought me a pair for Christmas, and I absolutely love them. Great support, very comfortable. I've had the K-Swiss, very comfortable sneaker, but I think it's the most comfortable. To me, it gave the least amount of support, and it wore out the quickest. But a very comfortable, fashionable sneaker. I've had the Adidas. I love it. I have a very narrow foot, so that's something that you really want to consider. That's why I like the Nike the best. It really conforms to my narrow foot. The Adidas was a little bit wider. I had a little bit more room in it. But they're all good shoes. Just get what is comfortable for you, right. And just shuffling, sliding back and forth. It's got a good grip. It hugs the court. And a lot of them are super cute. Let's be honest, Frank. Us girls out there, we want to be looking good.
The one thing about court shoes, though, is you have a wider toe base as opposed to running sneakers. So it's really important that you get the right court shoe. Now let's get into our really fun part of the podcast, and that is the rant of the day. Because we only have another minute and 15 seconds. So give us your rant. Go ahead.
My rant really quickly. At Paddles Up, a gentleman wanted to buy a paddle today. A big guy, big hands, strong player, and he said, I want a short handle. So I showed him the short handle paddles, and I said, I'm just curious, why do you want a short handled paddle? Because I don't think that's really the right paddle for you. He goes, well, I hit my leg all the time with my paddle. And I said, well, why don't you just try straightening out your paddle that you have instead of spending $200+ because you keep hitting your leg with a paddle that is going to wreck your game. So I talked him off the ledge and showed him how to have a better stroke rather than spend $200 on a paddle that he didn't need.
My rant is people talking on the court when they're ready to play and just keep chatting away. I'm going, let's go. So it bothered me so much when they said, okay, we're ready to go. I turned my back on them and started looking at my watch. And now they're accusing me of watching my talking on my phone. So it really running out of time. Let me just tell you this. What's really important is that we want to hear your rants in the contact.